January 2025. TikTok flickers, then goes dark. Feeds freeze. Panic scrolling. What happened? And who's really in control? Tonight, no rumors. Just the timeline and the players. Here's the backdrop. Exploding popularity, relentless pressure, and one law that changed everything. In 2024, Congress drew a hard line. Sell US TikTok by January 19, 2025, or face a ban. 170 million Americans were caught in the middle. The clock ticked, headlines blared, agencies prepared. Then, for hours, the app actually went dark, feeds frozen, before service snapped back. Confusion spiked. Refresh, refresh, refresh. Now, a blockbuster deal is on the table. Signed in principle, still awaiting final closure. Brokered by some of the biggest names in tech and finance. What did ByteDance give up to stay? And who will shape your For You page next? The stakes are simple: data, control, and the feed you see every day. Let's break it down. To get how we got here, you have to know the backstory. TikTok's life in America has been a wild ride of explosive popularity and crushing political pressure. For years, US officials sounded the alarm over its owner, ByteDance, a Chinese tech giant. The main fear was national security. Could the Chinese government force ByteDance to hand over data on millions of Americans, or even twist its algorithm to shape public opinion? Those fears weren't just whispers. They led to the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary-Controlled Applications Act, a law passed with huge bipartisan support in April 2024. It gave ByteDance a deadline of January 19, 2025 to sell its US business or get blocked from app stores and web services. TikTok fought back, suing the government and arguing the law stifled free speech. But in a landmark decision on January 17, 2025, the Supreme Court rejected the challenge and upheld the law. The deadline was real. For a moment on January 18th, it looked like the end, as TikTok voluntarily suspended service in the US. But the app didn't stay dark for long. President-elect Trump signaled he'd grant an extension, and service was quickly restored. Since then, a series of executive orders have repeatedly pushed back the enforcement date, buying precious time for a deal to be negotiated. It's been a high-stakes game of chicken, with the fate of a cultural phenomenon hanging in the balance. With the clock ticking, a consortium of heavy hitters stepped up to engineer a solution. This isn't just a straightforward sale. It's the proposed creation of a new, US-based joint venture designed to please American regulators without completely cutting out ByteDance. At the heart of it all are three key players who have reportedly signed on to become the new faces of TikTok in the US. First up is Oracle. The tech giant, co-founded by Larry Ellison, has been named the trusted security partner. This isn't a new role for them. Oracle was already part of a previous plan called Project Texas, where it was tasked with storing US user data on American soil. But under this new proposed deal, Oracle's role would be massively expanded. They're not just an investor, they're set to be the guardians of American data, responsible for storing it, auditing security, and overseeing the algorithm. So, what are the exact terms of this multi-billion-dollar agreement? According to internal memos and recent reports, we can finally see the intricate structure designed to save TikTok in America. The agreement, which is reportedly scheduled to close on January 22, 2026, would create a new, independent US company to take over TikTok's American operations. Here's the proposed ownership breakdown. Oracle, Silver Lake, and the Emirati firm MGX would each hold 15% of the new company for a collective 45% stake. ByteDance, the original Chinese parent, is set to retain a minority stake of just 19.9%. The remaining 30.1% would be held by affiliates of ByteDance's existing global investors. This ownership math is the foundation of the whole deal. By ensuring ByteDance's direct stake is below 20% and creating a US majority board, The agreement aims to satisfy the divestiture law. The new company is slated to be governed by a 7-member board of directors, with a majority of U.S. citizens, giving Americans final say over key decisions. But the real make-or-break parts of the deal are about the data and the algorithm. First, all U.S. user data would be stored locally on Oracle's cloud infrastructure, right here in the United States. Oracle would essentially act as a watchdog, monitoring all data flows to prevent foreign access. Second, and this is the big one, is the plan for TikTok's secret sauce, its powerful recommendation algorithm. According to reports, the algorithm will be retrained using only U.S. user data. This new, American-trained algorithm would then be operated by the U.S. entity, with Oracle overseeing its security to prevent any outside manipulation. In theory, this creates a clean break, severing the U.S. algorithm's operational ties to ByteDance.
This deal is incredibly complex, with huge implications for tech, politics, and all of us. What are your first impressions? Do you think this proposed structure is enough to protect American data? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. And if you're getting value from this breakdown, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what we uncover next.
So, the deal has been signed, but it isn't closed yet. What does all this mean for you, the person doom-scrolling at 2 a.m.? On the surface, the goal is for nothing to change. You'll still have the same app, the same creators, and hopefully, the same eerily accurate For You page. But behind the scenes, the proposed changes are massive. The biggest promise of this deal is better data security. For years, the fear has been that U.S. user data could be accessed in China. Under the new structure, the plan is to wall off your data within Oracle's US-based servers. Think of it like moving your stuff from a public locker to a private, high-security vault where an American company is the only one with the keys. This could also impact the content you see. The plan to retrain the algorithm on US data is designed to insulate the For You page from any potential foreign influence. The idea is to create a content ecosystem shaped purely by the tastes and trends of American users. For ByteDance, this deal is a pretty smart compromise. While it would lose direct control over its most profitable market, it gets to keep a significant economic stake. By holding on to a 19.9% share and likely earning licensing fees for its tech, ByteDance avoids a total wipeout. It's a calculated move to salvage billions in the face of a complete shutdown, splitting its economic interests from operational control. The deal to save TikTok in America is a landmark moment for the internet. It represents a brand new playbook for how foreign tech companies might survive in an era of intense geopolitical rivalry. A joint venture, majority owned by American and allied investors and watched over by a U.S. security partner, is the complex solution that has allowed the app to dodge a ban. Through this reported agreement, Oracle is set to become the guardian of U.S. data. ByteDance gets to keep a valuable piece of the pie, and 170 million Americans can keep on scrolling. The whole thing hinges on separating the U.S. operations, from data servers to the recommendation algorithm, from its Chinese parent company. But as the lawyers work to finalize the deal ahead of its planned 2026 closing, the big questions remain. Will this truly work? Can you really fence off a global platform within one country's borders and keep the magic alive? And does this model really solve the bigger conflict between global tech and national security? We'll have to wait and see. But for now, TikTok dances on. What do you think is the biggest risk or benefit of this new arrangement? Drop your final thoughts below, and thanks for watching.